all set. We're going to have a fun weekend. We're hoping for another epic playoff showdown between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. This is going to be the fourth time that Allen and Mahomes have faced each other in the playoffs, with Mahomes coming out victorious in each meeting. At some point, Stephen A., the tide's got to turn. Tell me this. Do you feel like Allen has to be Superman to get the win against Mahomes?
Pretty damn close, because I think that Mahomes is going to push the pedal to the metal and put him in a position. And understand what I mean when to answer the question about the operative word here is Superman. What I mean by that, D.O. and Shay, is this. I'm talking about moments. I'm not talking about going out there and throwing for 350, 400 yards, 450 yards or something like that. I'm talking about him rising to the occasion if and when the moment calls for him to do so. The game wanes. It's tight. And plays need to be made, and somebody needs to be the propeller to success. I think that is what is going to be required for Josh Allen to win this game. It's not going to be in somebody else's hands. It's going to be in his. And it's going to come down. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to come down to moments. And we all believe that Patrick Mahomes is going to answer the call. Is Josh Allen going to answer the call? And here's where it also gets tricky for Josh Allen, y'all. We're going to compare him to what we saw years ago in that divisional playoff game, where he was living, or in some people's eyes, living off the excuse that the ball was in Patrick Mahomes' hands. He couldn't get it back, y'all. He couldn't stop them with 13 seconds, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's held on to that as an excuse not to judge him to the same level that Lamar Jackson was judged. Now it's your moment. Lamar Jackson is home. It's your time. Patrick Mahomes, that same dude, is standing in your way. What the hell you going to do about it? You've been in the league same time Lamar Jackson was. He was the last pick of the in the first round. You were the 7th overall pick, if I remember correctly. What you going to do? You're going to see people looking at Josh Allen that way. He's going to have to answer that call.
Don't lose it. That's my perspective on this game right now, too. And I cannot wait for this game. This is Goliath versus Goliath. This is giant versus giant. This is, like, think about the storyline of this game. Allen, who's been kind of shorted or gypped twice in the playoffs against Patrick Mahomes. You know, Mahomes is going for the three-peat. The reason I say don't lose it, Stephen A. and Shannon, is this. This is no question the best team and the most equipped team that Josh has to beat, and this is probably the weakest team that Patrick has, maybe last year in comparison. Watch Kansas City play. We know they're not running away with games. We know they're not playing a dominant brand of football. You're going to get this game to the fourth quarter, and it is going to come down to that one play where you either make the right decision at that right time or you revert back to a little bit of what you were maybe earlier on, and you think you got to try to go do something special, and it ends up backfiring you. I said this the other day, Shannon. I think the difference in the Baltimore-Buffalo game is the Lamar fumble. And then Josh on the 3rd and 2 quarterback run, he goes in, he gets hemmed up, and you can see him start to grab the ball and almost look the lateral to James Cook. He would have done that when he was younger. He didn't do it the other day. I think this game's about Josh and trying not to do too much in a certain moment to give the game away.
I agree with what you said, Dio. I think don't turn it over, because he didn't have a spectacular game on Sunday. But the one thing that he didn't do is turn it over. You turn the ball over in situations like this, you pay double, and you go home. If you're tired of being the bridesmaid and you want to walk down the aisle as the bride, you've got to take care of the football in moments. And you're right, Stephen, yeah, it's going to come down, and that's what you wanted to come down to. You don't want it to be a meaningless game. You want your legacy to be built on moments. John Elway built his legacy on moments. The drive, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, all these quarterbacks that have legacies, it's come down to a drive. It's come down to a moment. And this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to stand up, look that moment in the eye and say, you know what? I prepared a lifetime for this, and I'm ready to seize this opportunity. But he does not, I don't believe he has to be Superman. But what he cannot do is turn the football over, especially on the road, especially against this team, because they will capitalize on it. Now, they haven't been as great as they normally are, especially in the red zone. And that's why they've allowed teams, Kansas City, Dio and Stephen, to hang around, because normally, early on in Patrick's career, that middle part, he's only been in the league like 8 years, but that middle part, when they got the ball into the red zone, go ahead and put 6 on the board, because they was getting the ball in the end zone. Now, more times than not, they're settling for field goals, and they're allowing teams to hang around. But Josh, I don't believe he needs needs to be Superman. He just don't need to be Clark Kent.
I agree.
All right. KC is favored by 2 at home on deal to become the Bears' next head coach. Priority Sports, the agency that represents him, announced on social media Monday Johnson, who has been the Lions' OC the past 3 seasons, will fill the job vacated by Matt Eberflus when he was fired on November 29th. Shay, do you think Ben is the right hire for both Caleb Williams and Chicago?
I do. Because they have a very similar offense. You look at it, they got a quarterback, they got wide receivers, they got DJ Moore, they got Keenan Allen. They're going to have to do something with him, but I think they bring him back. He can be your Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you have Rome Odunze, who you took in the first round. Now, they do have DeAndre Swift and the running back by committee, but it's not like Gibbs and Montgomery. Okay, what the biggest thing they're going to need to address is their offensive line. Now, all sacks are not on the offensive line. Caleb Williams is going to have to do a better job of getting rid of the football deal. You understand that. Look, you can't make every play, no matter how bad you want to. And sometimes you make those plays, you're like, see, I can do it. But more times than not, bad things are going to happen for you. So you got to pick and choose your battle and your poison when you're going to make those plays. With that being said, I like him because he's really, really creative. He has an offense. He has a skill position players that can rival what they have in Detroit. They don't have the speed of a J-Mo. They don't have a speed like a Gibbs out of the backfield and can run the ball and hit his head on the goalpost. But I like this hire. I really like this hire. I'm a little surprised that he went into the same division as his previous team, his previous boss. But this was the best situation of the jobs available because they have something the others don't, and that is a quarterback.
Oh, Shannon, I love you. There's nothing similar about these offenses, in my opinion. Nothing. I mean, Detroit's is significantly advanced in every element, I would say, outside of maybe having a big-bodied receiver and a Rome Odunze. One, hiring a coach is a dice roll. It's a worthy dice roll. But here's the hesitation I have, okay? We don't have a lot of evidence in the NFL, specifically over the last maybe 6 or 7 years, where a team in an organization has a young quarterback and they go chase the offensive-minded head coach, and it works. Okay, like we're way too in love with that in the NFL, and that's what gives me a little bit of hesitation on this one. The only one that I could sit here and say we could claim as a victory, a win, a good, is when the Rams went and got Sean McVay for Jared Goff after his rookie season. And they also moved on from Jared at some point, okay? Like Mike McDaniel and Tua, we can have the conversation of. Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, maybe have the conversation of. But the ones that we've seen actually work with some of these young, talented quarterbacks are Sean McDermott and Josh Allen, a Harbaugh and a Lamar Jackson, a C.J. Stroud and a DeMeco Ryans, a Dan Quinn and a Jaden Daniels. We actually have a lot more evidence recently of the defensive-minded head coaches and actually working out better for the young quarterback. The second part is, so that gives me hesitation. First-time head coach and a young quarterback, one of the